Warning: the following podcast contains adult language and childish comedy. Listener discretion is advised. And now, please adjust your headphone volume to an unreasonable level and enjoy the most dynamic and electrifyingly entertaining podcast ever to conquer cyberspace. This is
Amish Baby Machine.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the most powerful podcast ever created, the Amish Baby Machine Podcast, starring me, Dags, and Johnny Rage. The Amish Baby Machine Podcast is a powerful American pop culture podcast. And now, somewhere, parked in a parking lot, looking at his phone, is Johnny Rage.
Now, I don't know if I should actually say something, or is this when you break into another special guest and talk Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones. It's all over, Johnny Rage. Last season, last show, all done.
Did you have kind of some, when you try to get off a drug, you're addicted to it, you get the shakes, the shimmies. Did you have withdrawals is the word I'm looking for with your Game of Thrones being done? Are you happy with it? Is it put to bed? You're going to now lead a satisfied life, or do you miss it? Do you want more, or you weren't happy with the end? What are your thoughts on that, Dave?
I think it's because everyone on the internet was so upset about it, and they wanted the last season to be rewritten. There was a petition, much like I wanted the last season of Mr. Belvedere rewritten, because it didn't quite do it for me.
I would have to second. I would have to second that notion too.
Yes.
But what a great marketing ploy for HBO. Let's say they do rewrite that. What would they have to lose? I mean, they'd get another season of an extremely popular production on their network. Wouldn't that be a great idea?
Why doesn't Disney buy it? And they can just make prequels, sequels, and side quills and night quills.
Boy, they're the master at that, aren't they? They just bought that Marvel and Star Wars, and they're just banging them out. But they found out that not so fast with Star Wars. People aren't buying into it. As the people of Marvel must be different from Star Wars. Marvel people like nonstop movies one after another, but Star Wars, they had to say, whoa, that's too many. So they stopped the production of those things. But I don't know. I think Game of Thrones, if people want them to redo it, would you think they would ever cave into that and redo the episode? Or are they like, no, we're done. We're moving on?
No, actually, the Star Wars connection is the two dudes, that did Game of Thrones are going to do Star Wars now.
Okay, so
that's kind of why they bailed. They're like, fuck it. We already got Star Wars. We're done with this shit. See, to me, the last season was kind of like your senior year in high school, kind of your senior slide. To me, it just looks like they kind of gave up.
So it wasn't fulfilling to you?
No, but I'm actually kind of glad. I'm just like, I'm glad it's over. Because there was all these different storylines that they didn't really fix for me. And then if you talk about it, then everyone bitches either way. So it's kind of like I'm just done with it. Time to move on.
Right.
But I think some of the people, like the dude that plays Jaime Lannister in the Game of Thrones, he should definitely do movies.
Oh, how many spinoffs? I heard there is going to be a spinoff of Game of Thrones.
This dude is powerful. I think he should be like a hero in a movie.
Yeah, he probably will. I mean, that. They'll strike while the iron is hot,
Some people translate well from TV to movies and vice versa. Some don't.
Who doesn't? Who in your estimation didn't? Or are you just talking in generalities?
Well, there's a lot of times there's actors and comedians like David Spade. He's funny, like in little bits, but he can't, lead a full movie on TV. He was good on Saturday Night Live. He was good, in comedies, but maybe that's a bad example. I'm trying to think. Well, Chris Rock is one. His stand-up is really good, but when he's in movies, he's horrible, I think. Like he was in Lethal Weapon. I don't know if you remember that. Some dudes work well on TV, and they make the transition to movie and it doesn't work. But then you think about the powerful Tom Hanks bosom buddies that worked out.
Big time. And also for his partner too. He had the Honey I Shrunk Kids fame. That's about all he's ever done, hasn't it?
You really think that's him or not?
Yeah.
That's not Rick Moranis.
Isn't it?
No.
Come on, I am the pop culture guru here. You don't tell me, Dags. I tell you. That's him. Okay.
All right. I could see how you'd make that mistake.
Yeah, thank you. Much better.
Now, Johnny Rage, speaking of comedy,
yeah,
you did a little stand-up. You did a powerful auctioneer job. Tell the fans of Flock of Amish about that.
Well, Dags, I can't leave my talents only to this podcast. I bring them to the world. Not that we don't have a world following on this podcast, but I like to touch on people's lives live on a podcast, and hopefully I can touch on people's lives dead too. But yeah, I did I'm an auctioneer. Some people would say a pseudo auctioneer. I would disagree with that, but I did one last week, and basically an auctioneer is a gentleman who, I think we all understand the concept of an auctioneer, but there are different applications to be an auctioneer. I was doing a fundraising event where you have about 7 to 10 live auction items. There might be a cruise to Disney. We didn't have that. There might be a trip to Hawaii. We didn't have that either. But you have about 150 people, and you bring your humor, your comedy, your personal charm, your good looks, which I have all that.
Now let me ask you this: when you got up there and started talking, did the people holding the event, did they wish they had a silent auction?
Afterwards maybe, because I haven't heard boo from them. I thought I'd get kind of a wrap up, and so maybe but by the way, they did have a silent auction too. I get the cute joke. You're funny, Dags. You're funny. Everybody's a comedian except when it comes time to be. Yeah, you need that. Everybody's a comedian except when it comes time to be a comedian. It's very difficult, Dag, to work an audience the way I do. I massage the audience. Okay, I've got the ability, the charm.
What type of massage? Shiatsu?
No, just basically with my boyish good looks.
Oh, I thought it was like a deep Swedish tissue massage.
No, sorry. I know you're disappointed.
Do you like all that massage talk?
Maybe Ned can get into that a little
Powerful.
bit later. Yeah. But anyway, I stood up there. I ran about an hour. And with my auctioneering, I like to bring a little bit of comedy, a little bit of humor. I like to have some interaction with people. And I nicknamed myself Rumpelstiltskin because I spin from nothing. I make gold. So that actually is the name of my production company. It's Rumpelstiltskin Incorporated. But other than that, yeah, it went well. We made a lot of money for the group.
No, I was going to jump in and do a rumpled foreskin joke, but I held back. What do you think?
I think there's a lot of innuendos today. I think you're hitting on me, Dags.
All right, now tell us. Let's get. Did you wear a costume?
No, but it's standard to wear a tuxedo. I don't have one. I mean, I don't like tuxedos anyway. But no, I wear my I roll with a sport coat and the dress.
Did you really wear a sport coat?
Oh yeah, I did. Fat man in a little coat. That's what it kind of feels like.
What sports would it? You were in a sport coat. What would it be? What sport?
Tennis.
Tennis.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I love tennis, golf, anything. You throw it at me, I can do it.
Yes. So give us some of the jokes. I want to just paint a picture for the powerful listeners of the Amish Baby Machine, the most powerful podcast ever created.
My gift to the people is me, and if you don't pay the money to step up and watch me, I don't reveal that type of thing. You got to come. Next Saturday is your next chance. 7 p.m. Another auction event, extravaganza.
Give us one joke. Give us a teaser.
Rumpelstiltskin Productions. They come so fast and hard and so quick, and I don't even think about it. I'm just rattling. Okay. We'll talk, and I'll think of a couple here.
No, I also want to say I saw a movie recently. John Wick.
Okay.
Apparently, it doesn't star Keanu Reeves.
It doesn't?
No, it's John Wick. It's a different type of movie.
Oh, okay. I see. You're back to your Pornhub stuff, right? Boy, you're just all
It's a thematic show today.
I get it. I get it. So you did see John Wick, though.
I did.
That's what the people want to hear about that day. Tell us about it.
I did see John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fourth part of a trilogy, I believe.
Okay, now should that have ended, or did that hold your attention to this one?
Now here's
Sometimes
the deal.
never ending. Here's the deal. I love that.
It was a visually stimulating movie. Highly choreographed fight scenes. Pretty much the whole time. I don't know what the death count is, but it's got to be one of the highest in recent memory.
Okay.
So if you like martial arts films, if you like flashy colors, it's pretty much like a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
High death count, but the deaths, it's almost cartoonish. It's over the top violence.
Mm-hmm.
So as you love the term popcorn movie, it's the ultimate popcorn movie.
I'm just trying to think because as you're talking, you're saying there's a high death count. And I'm thinking of Endgame at the end where they got the epic battle scene. And it doesn't seem like there's ever any real death there. Everybody gets kind of the shit kicked out of them, but nobody really dies. Well, I guess the first one they did, where they just kind of turned into dust. But I had a major point here, Dags.
No, but I know what you're saying. It's like Deadpool, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously can't die, so you reach a point, why even make it serious anymore? I mean, it should be just pure comedy.
Right.
Because you're right. It's just like, well, the old comic books, no one died. I mean, it was for kids. All they do is punch each other, you know?
Right.
And they had to make it a little more adultish, you know, how they killed Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's never really dead. They just go back in time or sideways or that's kind of the bullshit with the comic books. Back in the day, they wrote comic books and now they want to rewrite them all so they make these different universes. Oh, that's not Spider-Man in this universe. He's in the other universe. In the other universe, he has 3 heads.
We haven't heard Kermit the Frog for a long time. Welcome back, Kermit, by the way.
That was almost Yoda.
Diggs, in the film John Wick, you said there was a high death count.
Yes.
Was it necessary for the film? Do you think it added? Do you think it took away? And double question here. Pretty soon, if you just have a bunch of unknown characters dying, it's meaningless. But did any of the top characters actually get killed, or was it just a bunch of no-namers?
That's the thing. That's funny you said that, because what happens is if you have so many deaths, it's cartoonish, and you're right, they don't mean anything.
Right.
You know, you have to build characters, and then you have a relationship with the character, and then you kill them off. That's why Game of Thrones was so shocking. They'd build these characters, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're dead. It'd be shocking. But you're right, in this show, it's just cartoonish. It's just a video game. It's basically just a video game.
Right. So when you keep that in mind, I want to ask you this question. When you think of all the movies in your repertoire that you have seen, take Game of Thrones out of this picture, okay? Has there ever been a movie where there was a death to a cast member or maybe even the star that you absolutely did not see coming at all? Where it wasn't the happy ending, the superhero saves the day, takes the beautiful lady, and walks in the sunset. Has there been a movie in your repertoire where like, dang, I didn't see that coming? That dude's dead.
The movie Live and Die in L.A.
Okay. Tell us about
Willem Dafoe was the bad guy.
Okay.
Probably the first time I ever saw him in a movie. And he killed this star. And it was totally shocking to me. I didn't see it coming. Maybe you would, you know, hindsight's 2020 if you looked at it now and watched the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it totally blindsided me. I had no idea the star of the movie would get killed. Also, another one is on go ahead. I'm going to look up the movie, but
well, the one that I can think of is, you ever see Carlito's Way?
Oh yeah, very good.
Al Pacino. And I don't think I'd be giving a spoiler alert onto this one because this thing's been out for 20 some years. But great movie, whether you know the ending or not. But there's a typical ending where he's running, he's meeting the girl of his dreams. He's got cash in hand, millions of dollars that he got illegally, of course. But they're gonna pop a train and they're gonna end up in some paradise and live happily ever after, getting away from the gang and the violence and stuff. And he just about ready to board the train and he gets popped by, gosh, I wish I could remember that kid's name because he says it. But he takes the old silencer to him, doo, doo, and he just drops Al Pacino right there on
Benny
the spot.
from the Bronx.
Benny from the yes, exactly. Benny from the Bronx. Benny from the Bronx.
And I just thought of the movie I was thinking of was Executive Decision with Kurt Russell when they're on the plane and Steven Seagal dies.
Oh my gosh, Steven Seagal dies?
Yes, Executive Decision, 1996.
Oh my word! Wow.
You gotta watch that movie; it's powerful.
The only other one I can think of too is the movie Cloverfield, the first one.
Great movie.
Where the cast is a bunch of friends who are sending their buddy off to a new job in Japan. So when they start, if they're all in his apartment, they're having a big party for him. And then, of course, all hell breaks loose. And they all have to get to the same spot, safe spot, so they can be carried off by the military. But they have to go back for one girl who didn't make it. And so it walks you through New York during the time when this epic monster takes over New York City. But at the end of it, the monster suddenly shows up. But they were warned that, hey, if you're not out of this quadrant by 0600 hours, everything's going to be blown. And they didn't make it in time. And that's how it ends. That was shocking to me. I thought that, again, the helicopters would be there lifting them off to safety. You know, I kind of like that ending.
I like that. I like the movie. I like the found footage theme. I liked it. That was a good movie.
I don't know if I like that. It's kind of like that Blair Witch Project stuff.
Did you watch Blair Witch Project?
I think everybody did, didn't they? I mean, if you're anybody who knows anything about anything.
But let me ask you this. Did you watch it in the movie theater?
I did not. No.
Because it was more frightening in the movie theater because it was dark and you were up close to everything. And it actually, the ending, it didn't scare me. It gave me a sense of dread.
Really?
It really did. I got into
Explain that. What do you mean by a sense of dread? I'm not following why you would have that feeling.
Well, when the kids stood in the corner, I mean, just the fear, the dread. Like, this is real. It seemed real to me.
Okay.
Because at first I'm like, oh yeah, it's stupid, whatever. But I got into it, and then it felt real, and it was a sense of dread. That's why I like watching movies in the movie theater. It's kind of like watching comedy live or music live. It's so much more intimate, has so much more effect on you.
Right.
When you're watching, like, the worst is people watch movies on their phone. I mean, it's horrible. Even if you have a nice phone, what do you have, a 6-inch screen? Movies were designed to be on big screens. Well, 6.5. 6.5. Yeah, 6.5.
It's actually bigger than that, but I was cold that day. It was very cold.
I know.
Okay. But
it's meant to envelop you, the surround sound,
right?
You know, everything, the smell of the popcorn. But a good movie, like I always say, a good movie to me, I don't know I'm working the next day. Like, to me, if my mind wanders, like, and it happens to you too, you probably fall asleep. Is that you're wandering? But you ever notice, like, when your mind starts wandering, you're like done? But a good movie to me has got me, and I literally don't start, you know, like when my mind starts wandering, like, oh shit, what do I gotta do? Oh, I gotta work tomorrow. Is that the same for you?
So you're done then at that point. You're like, I just can't get into this. I try to prevent that. I do not. When I decide to go to a movie or not, I do like it. You probably don't look at length of time. I do. I knew I was going to have a hard time with Endgame because of the length of it. Those are marathons. And I'm not that big into Marvel where it can capture my attention for that long. Even Godzilla is coming out here on Thursday, which I'm really looking forward to, and I'm going to see. Perfect. That's 2 hours, 10 minutes, I think.
That's perfection, right?
No, that's why.
Oh, that's too long?
I like the horror films because they're like an hour 40 and they're done. I mean, the horror films, they have it down. They take care of business. They kill the people they want to kill, and then they shut things down, and you go home.
Let me ask you this: gangster.
Ask me whatever you want.
You like gangster movies, right?
I do. Those have a tendency to be a bit long.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
How do you sit through those? Because they tend to be epics. They're long movies.
One that comes to mind, of course, would be The Godfather. We were talking about that because a cast member just died today at the age of 85.
Can you do the theme song? God, you talk about you don't like the Game of Thrones. I think the Godfather theme is the most melancholy.
Of course it is.
It's horrible.
Well, what do you think? They're not celebrating life. They're celebrating
the Game of Thrones is the same.
Yeah, but the Game of Thrones doesn't have the amount of actors.
No, you didn't watch the show.
I didn't.
The acting in there is phenomenal.
I'm not saying it's not, but you don't have an epic cast assembled like you did for The Godfather and Game of Thrones.
You do. You don't. You're saying name recognition or quality of actor?
That's what I'm saying. They haven't been around long enough to have name recognition because everybody can act nowadays. They can CGI people and
no.
I'm
talking but that's why I liked Game of Thrones, especially in the early episodes. It was just two people typically acting. It wasn't a bunch of CGI. It wasn't stuff flying all over the stage. See, one of the things like in John Wick, it's so highly stylized and the fights are so choreographed that it just gets old. Every punch is blocked. Every kick is blocked. They spin around. It's too cartoony. That's like Game of Thrones had really good acting, and I could pull up some scenes.
Well, see, the thing about The Godfather is you're definitely not going to watch that for anything like that at all. There's definitely a couple of scenes where there's some violence, not gratuitous. You're not having a huge number of people killed, but it's a thinking man's movie because there's so much plotting in this, and you have to be smarter than the other family, and Al Pacino pulls it off brilliantly. So you have to think along the lines of a hitman or of a, where a lot of movies today though, there's no thinking involved. You're just being entertained. Oh, this is really cool.
No, but you already say that you just want to be entertained, so you're contradicting yourself. Typically, I mention a movie and you go, I don't want to think about it. I just want to be entertained.
Well, I guess I have my moods where, like, for instance, on Thursday when Godzilla comes out, I've been waiting for this for a long time. I mean, how much thinking is there going to be in this? That is a movie you just go because you want to be entertained.
Can we both go dressed up in foam suits? Can we do that?
Sure. Do you have them?
I want you to be Godzuki, and I'll be Godzilla.
Is he kind of like Scrappy Doo from Scooby-Doo?
He is. That's when Godzilla jumped the shark. Scrappy Doo, Scrappy Godzuki.
Oh man, yeah. For the lengths that they take.
Johnny Rage, as always, we thank the fans, the flock of Amish that listen to this powerful podcast. And I want to tell everyone, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Amish Bee Machine. I'm literally on there 24/7. I want to hear from you guys. Make sure you like our Facebook page. Instagram, we're on IG. Check us out there. We do have a powerful Patreon page, patreon.com or AmishBabyMachine.com. It's a great way to help support this podcast. And speaking of support, powerful merch. Now, Johnny Rage, you saw on Facebook that the new powerful shirt on Ned. What'd you think?
I thought it was a very good looking shirt.
It's very handsome.
Yes.
We have powerful shirts. I have over 15 original designs. They're beautiful. I got colors and fabrics. I got mugs. I got everything.
You have one made out of foam? Is there a foam one though?
There is a Godzuki in the works.
There is. Okay.
Now I want you to go AmishBabyMachine.com, hit our merch, buy a shirt, buy a mug, buy 2, 3, 3,000. Johnny Rage can tell you we need a new computer here.
We do.
It's on its last legs. So please support us, buy our merch.
We need a catchy jingle or something for that. I'll come up with one.
Okay, you come up with one. And then I'll hire someone to sing it. Or do you want to sing it?
I could try. I'll give it a shot. Buy some merch, and we get a computer. Boom, boom, boom. Sometimes those work too. It's just sheer nonsense.
UFOs are back in the news. Did you see that story?
Are they ever not? I didn't. Tell me about it. I love it.
So there's
though.
these
What do you got?
two Air Force pilots that swear they've seen UFOs.
Okay, now that's an old story, though. I've heard that was 6 months old.
Yeah, but it's just back again that they're finally admitting. So I want to know what do you? They're seeing something, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not making it up. So I'm not saying they're from outer space, extraterrestrials, but what are they seeing? Are they seeing drones? Is it anomalies? What do you think?
They're seeing Godzuki, and they don't exactly know how to handle that.
God, I think. Powerful. Remember Godzuki? He couldn't shoot the fire breath, so just kind of smoke rings came out.
Exactly. They're seeing the smoke rings of Godzuki. I don't know. I mean, especially when you talk airplane pilot, you think there's some credibility there. It's a great question. What are they seeing? I just don't know. It's kind of like the Bigfoot theory. Okay, why is he not just marching onto Times Square and saying, "Here I am, everybody"?
Yes. Why don't they land on the White House lawn?
Why don't they land on the White House lawn and just say, "Here we are. We seek to be a peaceful nation." When we find out to serve man means really it's a big cookbook, and they're taking us back to their planet to kill us and eat us. But I am of the mindset that there is not any other life in any other solar system than what we have here. That's my thought process.
So we're just a random fluke.
We're not a random fluke, not in the least bit. We are well put together, well thought out by a greater being than all of us. It was created. We have.
So why don't these other planets that were created? Why don't they have life on them? What's their point?
Well, for instance, what's the planet just behind Earth? Everything has a certain reason for being in the position. Venus blocks a lot of meteorites from actually wiping Earth out. That's why it's there. Okay. That's not the only reason. There's a reason for everything in its place.
There's a reason.
For the verses, there's a reason.
I'm not going down a rabbit hole. I'm just asking you, there's all these other planets, nebulas, and what's the point of them?
I just explained it to you, to protect Mother Earth, for one thing.
Things are thousands of light years away. They have nothing to do with protecting Earth.
It's just ways to fill space, I guess, kind of like garages. We all just have crap that just accumulates somehow.
But what is the space? I'm confused about that.
What is space? It's the final frontier.
Johnny Rage. Powerful.
These are the voyages of the Star Trek Enterprise. These are the voyages of the Amish baby machine. Yeah, I just think I'm not a firm believer in ghosts. I'm not a firm believer in extraterrestrial. I'm not a firm believer in Bigfoot. All that stuff, Loch Ness Monster, which I think has been proven wrong time and time again. I'm just a non-believer of all that stuff. So I'd be the worst person. We probably need an expert in the field. And if you actually have the gall to say you're an expert, a Bigfoot expert, I think, boy, there's something really wrong with you. But anyway, we should find an expert and let's talk Bigfoot.
Powerful.
Matter of fact, that's going to be my job, Dags. If you don't mind, I'm going to do some research and try to find a foremost expert or a foreskin expert on Bigfoot. We're going to bring him into the Amish baby, and we're going to debunk Bigfoot. Okay.
Now, I want to ask you your powerful opinion on Mount Everest climbing. Did you hear about all the deaths?
Yes. Again.
Over 10.
But if you think about it, is that really a lot?
Of course it is.
I mean, over the time period I'm talking about. If it was last weekend, that's a lot. But when you put yourself in that perilous situation, those perils rather.
This is a record number, is what I'm saying.
Did 10 people go at once?
No, but I mean, they show the footage here of everyone literally. Did you see them all lined up?
I did.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. And they have the death zone, they say, where it's a certain level. Like here, it's 26,000, over 26,000 feet above sea level. It's called the death zone. They gave out permits to 381 climbers. I mean,
Okay.
I don't understand mountain climbing. You know, part of me is like, I'll just let them enjoy it. They like it, but I understand exploring, like being the first to do it. Then after that, what is the point?
It's kind of like if I go to Burger King and say, dude, this Whopper's really good. You're going to want this. What are you going to do, Dags? Dang, I want to get my hands on that Whopper too and try it. That's the way I look at it. Don't
yeah,
you
but
think?
spending thousands and tens of thousands of dollars and, you know, oxygen. It's kind of like you just bought a new pellet grill. You should tell the fans about that.
I can't wait to talk about that, man.
But it's kind of like camping, glamping, you know, where do you reach a point? You want to be in the outdoors, but then you want to climb up a mountain, but you want to have oxygen, and then you're going to be in a suit, and then are you going to be a helicopter take you to the top, and pretty soon, you just see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Sherpas, that's cool. I mean, that's kind of in their blood. But for some dude to spend a lot of money and go there, and then they want to be in the, you know, the club, what is it, like the top 7 summits?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I got nothing against it. Do whatever you want, but I just don't personally get it.
No, I'm in the same camp as you, but there's definitely a thrill and a rush, and there's huge endorsements for doing it. It's big money is what it boils down to. You make it up to the top of Mount Everest, and you're in a club of an elite people, because how many people have actually done it? And then
but is it skill or just money? I mean, that's the thing, you know.
Well, I mean, I think it does take quite a bit of skill, and definitely gonna have to train for something like that. You're not going to get off the couch and jump on Mount Everest. These are enthusiasts who've been doing this their entire life, and you always want to do the next thing.
Yeah, but you know, the rich guy. It's kind of like the rich guy that gets into the kid that gets into a sport, and then the parents buy him the best of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the ragtag thing, or it's the car guys too. It's funny when people get rich, like the actors, all of a sudden they're race car drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that weird? Or they feel like they become pilots because they can just buy into it, and they can buy a race car, or they collect cars. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I'm thinking of that National Geographic Netflix program that I told you about, Free Solo. And that is a documentary about an infamous rock climbing expert who actually did, it's in it's an Apple computer software program. I told you,
El Capitan.
El Capitan, correct.
Soy Capitan, soy latte.
And it's one of the tallest rock surface climbs that you can do, and he did it without any. Did you ever see that, Dags? I really encourage people to watch that. I thought it was phenomenal. I really did. To watch this guy scale like Spider-Man up the side of El Capitan without any ropes or anything, you know.
Is he strong?
Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood.
Oh, powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, very strong. His hands are like, he does like pull-ups with just using his hands and stuff like that. You have to be. I mean, these people dedicate their lives. They're like Olympic athletes. And the bottom line is why they do it. Huh?
What are you like?
I've always wanted to have like a bar Olympics where you would go like from the pool table to the dartboard to chugging like a pitcher of beer, and then find out who can do it in the best time. I that's what I like.
Yeah, it's funny you said that, because you know how they have the Tough Mudder?
Mm-hmm.
Well, mine was a lazy effer.
I like that one too.
Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of things. There's
yeah.
You know, the chairs, we could have, you know, specific patio stuff to do on the patio.
Mm-hmm.
There's grilling.
Well, I mean, let's face it. In the Olympics, when the curling team won a gold medal, all of the white guys in America stood up and said, yes, there's a chance for me still to be an Olympic athlete. You know, it's so worth it.
No, I just set you up for a powerful segue into your new grilling machine, because summer is coming.
Hopefully it is.
Well, yeah, in Minnesota, who knows? But eventually we'll have at least a couple good weekends. Tell the fans of Flock of Amish about your powerful new toy you got.
Well, Diggs, I haven't had a chance to use it. When I'm done with this podcast, I'm going to go buy my first batch of wood pellet. I'm going to see what they have. They have them fancy ones now. You can get natural or flavored, so on and so forth. It's an area that I'm entering brand new. I've thought about a wood pellet grill for a lot of years. They've been out for a long time, but they weren't affordable when they first came out. Just like everything else, they come out, they're expensive. And I wasn't going to, quite frankly, spend $1,200 on a grill, because I'm an old bare bones guy. I love charcoal.
Do you consider yourself thrifty?
On certain items, yes, I am. But there are certain items too where I spare no expense.
What do you spare no expense? What do you splurge on?
Oh boy,
that's fine. I put you on the spot. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me think about that for
a
moment.
I'll let you think.
Sex toys. I usually there's money's no object for anything.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Anyway, so I've been looking at this wood pellet thing because we're men. We love meat. We love grilling the meat. It's just this. It goes back to the caveman.
It's primal, isn't it?
Thank you. That was the word I'm looking for.
Do you wear a loincloth when you grill?
No, but I might try. Maybe I'll take the bag that the pellets come in and just kind of create like a loincloth out of it.
Yes, because we need photos of you on Instagram. Maybe you can do that.
I'm gonna fire that up because you got to cure this thing. You don't just roll in, put your hamburger on. You got to cure it. So there's a process to this. But see, I told you I'm a charcoal guy, and why do I like charcoal? A lot of people are like, oh, can I steal your Kermit the Frog voice? Oh, I don't want to wait for charcoal. I just got the gas. I just turn it on. Well, then just use your fucking oven for God's sakes.
You know what? I'm going to interrupt here. What's weird, Johnny Rage? Normally you're so just get it done. I don't care. But you I always tease you about not having a passion.
Yeah, and I've always told you I do. I just
we found your passion. I think it's roasting meats. It's just being a man. You're embracing it, aren't you?
Exactly. Well, I mean, let's face it. If you camp or if you barbecue, there has to be some level of inconvenience to it. Otherwise, why are you doing it?
Well,
use your oven in your kitchen.
We talked about that. It's funny, like camping. I mean, is it just a little pup tent? And then what do you do? You build a lean-to, and then you heat it, and eventually you're not even camping.
Right. It's like you're back in your own home.
Yes. So with the grilling too, so the wood pellet to you is still primal.
Well, what I'm after, I've been through all the phases. I love when I grill, it's the experience. Most people just want to go out to the deck, turn their gas propane grill on, throw the hamburgers, and done. Oh, look at us. We barbecued tonight. Well, you really didn't. Okay. You were 20 feet away from what you could have done in your house, and just because it was outside, you're calling it grilling.
Some people actually have natural gas right to their grill.
Could you hear that? I'm sorry. It was the peanuts I had earlier.
What was it?
Did you? The natural gas? Did you hear me or oh, you're talking about other people.
That was supernatural gas.
Okay. But so I'm a charcoal guy because when I grill, it's not just to hurry up, throw meat on there. Let's get this eat. To me, it's the process. You take your charcoal and you have to measure the proper amount based on what you're cooking that night. Is it a meat? Is it a chicken? Is it a rib? Then you put the proper amount, and I've got the old smokestack thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Do you do the coffee can method of starting the coals?
Yes, I do. And what I like about that the most is just the smell of the charcoal just sitting in that little chimney. Okay, pretty soon it ignites, and then there's that smell. There's that smell I'm after, that charcoal smell. It kind of like ignites me as well. Like, okay, baby, we're getting this on. This is what it's about right here. Then you kind of
what I was just envisioning right now? You take
me in a loincloth?
Yes, that right now, glistening for the listeners. You're glistening. And you take the charcoal and you smear it on your face like powerful war paint, much like Arnold and Commando.
Excuse me, you choked me up there.
What do you think of that picture, though? Isn't that beautiful? I'm just thinking of you standing there glistening, loincloth with charcoal on your face.
I like that idea because I'm so into the charcoal thing. Maybe I'll do that, or at least under my eyes, like the football players do.
Yes.
And then I'll Snapchat a photo of that back to you. Okay.
We'll see. Talk is cheap.
Charcoal, just the smell of it, it gets your juices
Yes.
flowing. And then you look at the coals, are the tips gray? Is it 2/3 gray? Is it half gray? There's that right moment when you actually take it out of the chimney and you dump it. And then you bring on the granddaddy of what you want. You bring on the meat. Okay.
Now let's get into the meat. I want to talk about your meat.
Yeah.
What are you using?
What am I using in terms of
what's your go-to cut of meat, type of meat, flesh?
Well, I mean, let's face it, the most common thing people do is hamburgers, and that's just an 80-20 combo mix, okay?
Now, do you feel you should add some more fat to that?
No.
Have you tried the fatter mixes?
I really would like to, because when you barbecue it and you have an open flame, it's actually going to burn some of that fat off, I think.
Wagyu beef, Kobe beef, it's marbled, it's full of fat. So
Okay.
you're right with the hamburger. That's why I like, they always talk about turkey burgers. There is zero flavor in that. It's just garbage.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's save turkey for Thanksgiving and give us the hamburger when we want it. Okay. But let's face it, Diggs, the payoff, the one difficulty with the charcoal grill, and some people might disagree with me on this, is smoking something like ribs. We love ribs. The problem is you
pork
need a lower
or beef ribs.
Pork. The problem with ribs or even a pork butt is you need a lower temperature for an extended period of time. Okay. On the average charcoal grill, that's difficult to do because you can't use too much charcoal initially, because you can't relegate the heat to the best of your ability. So you have to add charcoal, on the hour, on every 45 minutes, which is difficult to do. You risk burning yourself. It's messy. It disrupts everything.
Let me ask you this. In between tending to the grill, what do you do? I want to flesh this out.
Oh, I like to drink beer. There's no doubt. I mean, you have to have
now, are you near your meat or do you go inside the house?
It depends when I'm grilling. If it's a fast and furious steak or a hamburger, you can't usually go too far because we're not talking anything that, a hamburger takes about 7 to 10 minutes. But when you have obviously ribs or chicken takes longer, I can walk away. I can afford myself the ability, the luxury of walking away.
Now the grilling, are you master of your domain? Do you tell everyone to get the fuck away? I'm tending the grill. Or are you more gregarious and you bring the people in? Are you a meat tyrant or are you a benevolent leader?
I want mine an audience if they want to watch me with my skills, my culinary skills around but I don't want them in there flipping things that they have no idea what they're doing. Don't start flipping meat because people like to overflip.
Do you wear assless chaps? I guess that's what I'm going to ask you.
Do you have a pair? I can try.
They wouldn't fit.
Oh, okay. Then no go on that. But no, I like to be in control of the meat because I know exactly how long it's been on. People like to overflip. You don't overflip meat. So no, I'm pretty much in control of the situation. But here's the payoff, Dags. I've been looking at this wood pellet grill for years, okay? The payoff with the wood pellet grill isn't necessarily with your garden variety barbecuing of, let's say, your hamburgers and your hot dogs and your brats. The real payoff on you asked, do I walk away from the meat? Okay. That's the real payoff for the wood pellet. You can walk away from your meat because you're not going to have flare-ups. You have a constant temperature. And so it allows you, especially with ribs, you can put on 180 degrees for 4 hours and just simply set it. You can simply set it and forget it.
Oh, Ron Popeil, powerful Ronco. But I'm asking, right. Do you like to be in the zone or would you just go somewhere and watch a movie? Do you see what I'm saying? Would you be in the general vicinity?
Oh, you have to.
Okay.
Again, but see, that's with this wood pellet stove. I'm hoping that my apron strings, I can cut them a little bit and walk away for, maybe go cut grass while you got the ribs on there.
Now let me ask you this: would the grass, the fragrance, would that infuse into the meat? Would you be concerned about that?
No, it would make it even better. You've got
It'd be intoxicating.
what more manly thing would there be than some hickory smoked wood pellets with the fresh cut clippings of grass? I mean, that just says summer. That just says man.
So
it just says let's get this on.
So I'm thinking right now of your face camo. You could use the green from the grass plus the charcoal.
Not a bad idea.
Yes.
Not a bad idea at all.
Powerful.
And that's a reference to Arnold Schwarzenegger, of which I'm going to segue in here. Dags, what do you think about your superhero getting kicked in the back last
Now, did
week?
you watch? There was two multiple camera angles. Did you
I
watch?
only saw the one. No, I only saw the one angle.
The one from this shows this guy running up, drop kicking him, and he barely moves.
Well, the guy looks like he's about 120 pounds. First of all.
Well, first of all, he's in his 70s, and you have some guy do a running drop kick.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed at the power of the Austrian oak.
Well, here's the deal, though. When you do a drop kick and you're 120 pounds, you really don't have any ability once you're up in the air to kick them any harder. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I got to disagree. You have your back turned to someone, you're filming on your phone. It's the last thing you expect is someone to kick you in the back. I don't care what they weigh.
What was he? It was like nobody was saying a word, and he was like into this filming of some young boy or something. What was going on there?
No, it was in South Africa. They had sports going on. I believe a young lady was doing jump rope. He was doing like a live stream showing the audience. And
what did the guy yell when he was leaving, when they were escorting him out?
Oh, I forgot.
I'm like, what is he saying? What was his? Did we ever find out after what his beef was with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I think they said something, but Arnold didn't want to give him any more press. Because
Right.
you have these people, they do everything just to get on the news,
Right.
get on the internets.
So are you saying, Dags, if I just show up to your house and drop kick you, maybe because you're such a household name with this podcast, I could maybe get on the news too?
Yeah, but you'd have to get off the ground, and you're not 120 pounds.
That's a very good point. I get it.
And I would
Okay,
hear
we'll
I
just-
would hear the beeping when you're backing up too. Beep, beep.
Either that or my run, or I'd be so winded I'd have to stop just before I jumped on you.
So, and Arnold does have the new Terminator movie coming out.
Oh, so then maybe this is a little publicity stunt, maybe.
Instead of I'll be back, I'll be drop kicked in my back.
Ah, touche.
Johnny Rage. I don't know. Of course, I'm gonna go see the Terminator movie, but I watched the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
My joke was I just watched the new Terminator movie. I mean the trailer, because they show the whole thing in trailers now.
Mm-hmm.
They showed the Terminator. They showed everything. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if I can handle. I don't know if I can handle that movie. There's zero desire on my part.
And
to
it's
see
so
that.
funny too, because I love the old Terminator movies, but you reach a point where just stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you asked about Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with it being over.
Right.
You reach a point where it's like 8 seasons. That's it. It's done.
I'm amazed it was 8 seasons too. It just seems like, wow, that was on that long. Holy crap.
Well, it's really weird. You see the actors age, like the little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize, holy shit, it was 8 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Powerful.
Long
Now,
time.
Johnny Rage, we're going to need you never do, but eventually you will. We're going to need photos of your new grill.
Yeah. Now it's not. Now just to tell people, I didn't go all out on this one. You can spend a lot more money. I really wanted one. It wasn't in the budget, so I did kind of go with a mid-stream type model.
Well, who knows?
Okay,
The fans love us. They love
I
you,
know.
Johnny Rage.
right?
Maybe they'll bankroll you. If you show,
Maybe.
if you appreciate your grill and you show that you're making powerful progress, who knows? The sky's the limit.
Right. And then I'll have all of our audience over for a nice little barbecue dinner.
A powerful meetup. Meet
Mhm.
up. MEATUP.
Mhm.
Powerful. Thank you, Johnny Rage, for being on this episode today. We love you. We want to thank the fans. God bless you all. We just ask one thing. Please tell a friend about our powerful podcast. And until next time, you've just enjoyed the Amish Baby Machine podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Amish Baby Machine Pop Culture Podcast. It is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and everywhere else fine podcasts are found. Please support our podcast through Patreon and shop our merch at AmishBabyMachine.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. This has been an Amish Baby Machine production.